Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having a great start here Wednesday morning. I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see exactly what it is that I'm looking at. I took a bad position. I had a bad entry, and I tried to not necessarily predict the reversal for ticker symbol Diaz, but I'm going to show you guys exactly kind of where it is that I am as of right now. I'm sharing my screen again. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Let me know when you guys are all here. Let's go ahead and go back to natural gas, see kind of where we're at. So I'm going to move this on over just a little bit so I could see your guys' message. Here you go. Boom, boom. That's too small. There we go. There we go. All right, how are you guys all doing this morning? So right now, natural gas had a huge push up. And in all honesty, as this thing pushed up, it was literally right before I took my position on ticker symbol DGAS. What I saw going on here, and again, explain to me if this makes sense to you. Again, there's a reason behind what I did. Did it work out? And is it going to work out every single time that I take a position? No. But look, it was right here in this area that I saw natural gas continuously make higher highs and higher lows. Just like it did during pre-market hours, it then broke below the EMA line and then continued to sell off down to the middle VWAP. I saw a very similar pattern happening as it pushed up, and what I did was I waited for the break below the EMA line and for lower lows to form. Unfortunately, it built a support and then broke back above the EMA line and then just completely ripped it. And this was right after 7 o'clock. And like you guys know, a lot of brokerages then open up so people can trade during pre-market hours around 7 o'clock. So the overall demand due to the overall direction of natural gas just completely pushed up. Again, that's my mistake. That's something that I did. And it drove the price up. Now, natural gas is a little bit more on the overbought side. We've built somewhat of a resistance right around 3.70. I wanted to explain to you kind of what I did. And although we might view it as a mistake, it's there's a reason behind my entry. I looked at the RSI. I saw that it was overbought. I looked at the overall pattern. I waited for confirmation below the EMA line to take my initial entry. And then when it came down to the MACD indicator, I felt like I was, really waiting for that overall direction, that continuous downtrend pattern. Could I have been a little bit more patient? Of course. And is every plan going to work out according to my, what I hope happens? No, but I know that I did my part in my analysis, and I took a 200 share position size when it was confirming that downtrend and stuff like that. And there's a reason behind what it is that I did. I just wanted to share that with you guys. Again, just as an example that not every single time you take a position is it going to go according to plan. Even when you think that everything that the indicators that you pay attention to, and then there's that a reason behind it. One of the biggest factors that I ignored in a sense, what would that be? So I paid attention to the RSI indicator. I paid attention to the EMA indicator. I paid attention to the MACD indicator. And then I paid attention to the overall recent pattern, right? What is it that I could have done better, or have maybe because of one certain thing been a little bit more patient on? Overall direction. Search. You didn't even let me finish the question because I know your answer popped up right as I finished speaking. So that means that you typed it in about 3 seconds before that. 100%. Overall direction. What is natural gas doing right now? What is natural gas doing right now? It's pushing up. It's showing signs of an uptrend. So for me to want to trade against it, that's something that is going against me, right? And that's something that I have to accept. And that's why when I saw this thing fully reverse back up and show signs of an uptrend, I'm not going to be oh my God, what happened? How is this happening to me? This should not be happening. It's okay, it makes sense. This thing has been absolutely just killing it and ripping through every single resistance, and it 100% makes sense. I took the risk of getting in and trying to trade against something that's actively uptrending. That's a risk that I have to accept. And the reason that I'm sharing this is right now I'm actually down, if I'm not mistaken, $800 or something like that. But I'm okay with that because of how overbought I see it is. If it continues to uptrend and really begins to skyrocket, then overall I'm gonna have to cut losses and have to try to recover that. But I wanted to share this with you guys because I know a lot of the times that I take a position and I wait for that overall reversal, a majority of the times, because of how conservative my approach is and how I wait for the confirmation and how I wait to average up, I think we do a pretty good job. Usually these trades play out in our favor, in my favor, right? So like when I'm trading, I usually do pretty well. I wanted to show you guys something where like I'm not like my like not prediction or call out, but like my overall trade did not go according to plan. And regardless of how much you like prepare and wait for confirmation, no matter what indicators you look at, no matter what overall pattern, we have to make sure that we understand that there are going to be times that there could be just something that just does not go in our favor whatsoever. And that's why it's so important to manage risk. So that's going to be pretty much my there we go. So right now this thing is shooting, pulling back a little bit, which is rightfully so. So now it's showing a little bit more signs of an uptrend. I want to see how low can we go. How low? I can't wrap. My goodness, that's embarrassing. Okay. So let's see how low it can go. Again, the MACD is becoming a little bit more on the oversold side. There it goes. I know, I'm so sorry. That was really embarrassing when I started saying that I'm not ludicrous. So yeah, hopefully I made you guys laugh. But, ooh. Wait, that's 100 shares. Oh, it's not gonna fill me. Here we go. All right, so looking at natural gas, this is kind of like what I'm looking at right now. We're getting some consolidation, and then this could, fully reverse. So we don't have a full-on confirmation that this thing is reversing just yet, but it's showing signs of no longer like selling off, and especially because it's such an aggressive uptrend pattern, I want to be on like kind of high alert for, if anything were to change in direction, for me to be prepared for that and to act quickly. So let's see. So it sold 100 shares out of my 400 shares. So my average purchase price as of right now is $60.92. Again, the MACD is super overextended. I'm going to try to see if I could change this. It might not let me. Yikes. Let's see. There it goes. Natural gas is selling off. Here we go. Sweet. It won't let me change it. I'm gonna have to cancel this one. Oh, there it goes. Here we go. It's not doing it. There we go. Is the connection bad? There we go. What? 61.15. How am I down on the day? Average purchase price? Okay. Alright, well that's fine. Yeah, I can't imagine upgrading my internet anymore. I have like the fastest I have like, if you guys are familiar with it through Cox, it's called like Gigablast, which is supposed to be. Maybe I have to get more routers in my house. But okay, so it does sound like some people are experiencing some form of lag. I'll be sure to look into getting maybe like a better like boosters. We'll get a little bit more boosters around the house and stuff like that. Missing every single entry point here. Okay. All right. So explain. Can you guys give me an answer on why I would take a 200 share position size on UGAZ? Why would I want to take a position on UGAZ? Direction, uptrend. Yeah. So I think it has to do with a mix of different things, right? But overall, investing in patterns that are showing signs of growth. I think that's what's most important. So let's see. Sweet. Here we go. So we broke above the EMA line, added more to my position size. Again, something's making me money. I want to make sure that I, continue to invest in stuff that's making me money. So right now we're still pushing up. Yeah, overall direction still showing signs of an uptrend. Looking at natural gas, we can look at this a little bit closer. Did hit its slight resistance here, so I'm just going to set my alert here so when we break above that I can get ready to lock in profits. But overall, previous resistance was right around 370. Again, that's during pre-market hours, so we're about to open to normal market hours. As you guys see, every time that I am about to take a position, I focused on making sure that where it says like, so if I click like sell, I click edit, And then where it says day, I make sure that it says like EXT, right? Which means that during extended hours. Same thing when it comes down to like, buying. You want to make sure that if you're trying to trade during pre-market hours, that you have that EXT turned on, because other than that, then you won't get filled. All right. Yeah, this was definitely very aggressive. If I could have captured this during pre-market hours, this would have been really nice, as that was a really nice margin for you guys, right? I was about 7% from when it broke above the EMA line. So let's say I would have gotten in at the confirmation, and then my average purchase price would have been over here as I add more to my position. Even if I would have sold at like 67, right? That's 5.21%. So now I have my sell point as of right now right around 66. I want to kind of see how it reacts when the market opens, and see if there's a rush of people that lock in profits and then it sells off, or there's a rush of people that want to be a part of the uptrend pattern. So let's check it out. Yeah, I like that, Devin. When it comes down to like preparing yourself for like the next day, especially after a red day, especially if it feels like a pretty solid red day, there's probably a lot of discouragement, and maybe you don't want to trade like directly, like the next day, just due to the how relevant like the emotional like experience might be. Depends on your experience when it comes down to trading. I think the first couple of times are much more difficult to overcome. Now, when I have red days, as long as I manage my risk accordingly, I understand that they're part of the game, right? And I'm empowered to I made a mistake, but I'm empowered to make sure that I refine my like best practices as much as possible, so I don't make that same mistake again. I know that most likely, because we're human, we're bound to make the same mistakes, right? But as long as you're aware of it, you're less likely to continue to repeat the same mistake. And I think a lot of it just has to do with confidence and reassurance, and understanding that you do know how to grow your account and you do know how to invest in quality patterns. But it's just a very simple mistake that didn't that did not play in your favor. So what could you have done better? And moving on to the next trade, maybe being a little bit more selective or trading with a smaller dollar amount so you feel more comfortable trading. All right, all right. I like that. It's super impressive. All right, we're actually pulling back a little bit. So overall support here around 63.77. I think like Gamer Stupid, like you're reading a lot of things that um, are gonna like try to like persuade your decision, right? I would really just focus on not just like what they're saying and seeing if it makes sense, but just making sure that like looking at the patterns and how it is that it's reacting, that is actually going in correlation to like the different articles and the different catalysts that are acting upon natural gas. And if you do see somewhat value in it, the biggest part that you have to understand right now is that you're still becoming familiar with like how to properly trade these. So even if you take like a 1 share position size, or just enough for you to have enough skin in the game that you follow up with this, I think that's what's most important. Regardless if you make a ton of money or not, you have to understand that you have years. You have years to completely just like make it in this market. If you're still trying to become more comfortable with kind of what's going on, then guess what? Just buy 1 share, 2 shares, or paper trade, or whatever it is that you want to do, just to follow up with it and just to take part of it. But it doesn't mean that you're actually doing it to try to make the money, but that you solely focus on the pattern and the actual trading itself. And then when it gets to the point to actually be trading to make money, then you can focus a little bit more on that incentive. But as of right now, I would just do it more for like the understanding and knowledge aspect for trading. Of course, Nick. Thank you. Holy moly. That's crazy amount of money. You're probably trading UGAs that day that it pushed up, right? That's so amazing. Watch out for this EMA line. The reason that I say watch out for this EMA line, although during pre-market hours we did push above it, as of right now, it's kind of for UGAS, its overall direction for the day, obviously it's showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Just watch out before, like I got in and added more to my position size as soon as it broke above the EMA line, because it's overall uptrend direction. But based off what I've been seeing, it's actually making kind of like lower highs right now, and it kind of just got rejected. So just be a little bit more selective with your entry point, especially as we just went from pre-market to open market. I just want to make sure that this thing begins to actually trend above the overall, EMA line rather than continuing to write it down. Sounds good. I like it. And even just following up with it, even if you just like were to write it down on a piece of paper of where you would buy and the amount of shares, general areas, and then where you would sell and with the amount of shares and where you would manage your risk, I think going through that whole experience is definitely very important. Literal paper trading, yeah, true. Writing down on a piece of paper, right? Here we go. There's no way. Have we been live for that long? Wow, 23 minutes already. Yikes. I thought we just went live. Yeah, I agree. OCO brackets are amazing. Do you guys see this? What about this is significant? Do you guys see any pattern here? Anything? All the resistance and your support. Perfect. My guy, William. Gabriel, what's going on? Nicolas, what's going on? Colby, Jacob, Vinny. You guys are all killing it. Oh, you guys all know. I like it. Michael, Joshua, Nick, Ty. I miss Messi, Wesley, Kevin. Hope you guys are all just super excited for today. We're getting a lot of consolidation around this EMA line. Let's see if we break above it. It'd be interesting to see. Okay, Nick. Sounds good. What's going on, dummy? Here we go. Let's see it. Let's see it. All right, that's my break-even point. There we go. What do you look for in a swing trade? In the Learn Plan Profit, what's it called, course, there's a swing trade section. I cover what it is that I look for a swing trade and the different swing trade criterias. I'm already, so you are not watching /G /NG, and you are waiting for the breakup of the event because you. No. So Sergio, I have two screens. I have natural gas on this screen, and I have UGAS on this screen. But yeah. So I can switch back and forth, but I already have. When I switch back and forth, it's really more for like so you guys could see it. But I have natural gas here pretty much the entire time. Okay, done. I'll go ahead and check that out once I free up. All right. We're getting a lot of consolidation. If this thing continues to sell off, I'm going to have to cut my losses around this general area. I just don't want to ride this as it sells off to the middle VWAP. So, and then on UGAS, that's right around the middle VWAP. So we're getting a lot of consolidation, kind of like descending resistance. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time, but then we can kind of go from there. Possible bounce off the middle VWAP. That's what we're waiting for, right? Right now, it's kind of just a waiting game for me. What report comes out today, gas or oil? Oil is on Wednesday, gas or natural gas, right, is on Thursday. Thank you for asking that. Yep, I agree. In a sense though, because Karen, yesterday was in favor of degas pretty much the entire day. Natural gas was aggressively selling off. Now we're getting a little bit more of a pattern or direction for natural gas, which is in favor of that, right? One of the things that we do want to take into consideration is on the 5-day, 5-minute chart, we could see that it actually did end up making higher highs at this point. And looking at /NG, we're approaching the same general resistance that it was at before. So this might be the peak, right? This might be the overall peak for natural gas, and we might, have to understand that. So I think it's going to be exciting to see that. That's why I'm going to be a little bit more quick to cut my losses today, if that were to be the case. Because if this thing does not continue to make higher highs, and this thing does end up getting like rejected here and then starts to sell off, then it gives us a better understanding that like 370 is a solid resistance for natural gas. And we might see a little bit consolidation here right around 370 for the next couple of days, but we at least understand that it might be time for degas pretty soon. So Yeah, so Rogers, you're saying that it's kind of difficult to have to wait for almost the perfect moment when you have to when you only have one trade a day. I wouldn't say that it's that perfect trade. The biggest focus that I would have when it comes down to like under the PDT rule is just making sure that the margin of profit is worth it. Right now, nor on UGAS nor on DGAS is there a huge margin and overall direction going for that. So as of right now, like yes, DGAS does have a solid margin for this thing to recover, but it's also at a resistance, which means that it could just continue to sell off, and its direction is not in its favor. When it comes down to ticker symbol UGAS, like if this thing were to, oh wow, I should have got losses a little bit quicker. This thing's aggressively selling off. See where we're at. But the whole focus of like that I would have under the PDT rule would just to make sure that the direction and that the opportunity cost is in your favor, making sure that it's a quality trade where it doesn't have to be an exact entry and exact exit, but that the margin of profit is so worth it and that the direction is in your favor. That's something that's probably like actively trending up for the day, then sold off pretty aggressively. Or corrected itself or pulled back, and then it's trying to recover. Those are the opportunities that I would be selective to look for. Have you tried to buy the dip on the oil reports, and is it not as effective? No, that's not necessarily. I mean, I do really well with natural gas ETFs and just the overall natural gas commodity. I try not to overdo it with, we've talked about it before, to try to become more knowledgeable about like gold or crude oil and stuff like that. I mean, you guys can definitely try it out and let me know how it plays out. But again, I have three focuses when I buy the dip, right? Like I try to understand which one's uptrending on the day, and whichever one's uptrending on the day, if that one is the one that pulls back, then I'm more like likely to like buy it. And then when it comes down to if it's something that's descending and then that's the one that like sells off, I'm probably less likely to buy as much of it as people would think, because it's already downtrending and who knows how much more it can sell off. Its overall just direction is not in our favor, right? So if something's uptrending and then it pulls back really aggressively because of that, then at least the overall pattern and direction for the day is in favor to help me like recover that. So let's see. We're probably going to get rejected. I'm just going to play it safe here. Let's see. I don't even know if we'll get there. See natural gas, where you at? So it looks like on natural gas, if you guys pay attention to /NG, on natural gas, we are getting rejected by that EMA line. So I just wanted to confirm it that we are going to be seeing signs of a downward pattern. And it looks like that is so. So I'm just going to set my alert here, see if the next candle continues to get rejected, and then we can kind of go based off of that. I just want to give it a little bit more time. Does it matter if the order is in extended hours? Elaborate a little bit more on that. Are you asking like, does it matter if like my order like right now is during extended hours? Because right now the market's open, so it should be under day and not during extended hours. No. So have you always traded these specific stocks? No. Like depending on the season, depending on the timing and stuff like that, I will change from like ETFs. So like if tech companies are like recovering, then I hope you guys know that, I'll most likely jump. Like if Facebook and Amazon and all those were to fully recover and the overall market were to fully recover, then I'll start day trading that, because again, why? That's where the opportunity presents itself. So I'll just have to familiarize and recalibrate kind of like how it is that I trade that and approach that myself. So What's the pre-market open time for TD Ameritrade? It's 2.5 hours before the market opens. So market opens here in my time, 7:30 a.m. So that means that I can trade as early as 5 in the morning. That's why you guys sometimes see me at like up at 4:30 or 4 o'clock, because I'm just looking how the market is trading, and then I prepare myself for that specific time around like 5 o'clock. I want to make sure that I'm up and ready. I've taken positions as early as like 5:01 and stuff like that. But again, it doesn't matter when the market opens. It's when that opportunity presents itself. So like today, it would have made sense for me to wake up at that time. But, and I know this is going to sound super dumb, me and the guys here. So we have Nick Palladino, for all those that know who he is. He's like the fitness guy. He's like the fitness guy on YouTube. He has like 600 and something thousand. I've made videos with him before. He's here visiting. He's really good friends with like me and the TechBuds team. And he does these challenges of like these calories of like consuming 10,000 calories in like 12 hours. We're each doing different kind of like challenges. So I'm doing, and so we have 3 guys that are doing, so Weston, Justin, and Caleb are doing 10,000 calories each. And then I'm doing a 5,000 calorie challenge. And then Michael's doing a 5,000. Oh, and then Harley's doing, I think, a 10,000 calorie challenge as well. I would normally wake up at like 4 o'clock to like watch pre-market hours. And I've been kind of staying up to date with it. But I needed the sleep just to make sure that I'm good for the entire rest of the day to prepare myself to like eat and stuff like that. Yeah, Eva, we're talking about you. That I think you sent a message or something like that and stuff like that, and then we're like, oh yeah, that's our girl. Think Rick coming soon. Yeah, you better believe it. Yeah, so I thought it would be interesting to see if I could consume it, and then I'll let you guys know. But yeah, as of right now, we're still kind of just like consolidating, so not much going on right now. I just eat the biggest Caniac meal, right? That sounds like a plan. A lot of Pop-Tarts. So for someone that has restricted trading hours during normal hours, as in I'm guessing that you're like working during that time, Colby, should consider trading pre-market hours. Again, I would trade during pre-market hours only when the opportunity presents itself. So if you see a lot of like volatility or a lot of demand or a lot of just opportunity just in general and margin of profit, then yeah, it makes sense on why during pre-market hours it's like the best of both worlds. There's opportunity and you can trade during that time and not inconvenience like your work hours and stuff like that. So yeah. Nick's meal plans are fire. I agree. But yeah, so I'm gonna, let's see, know how I feel about this. Just thinking that it needs a little bit more time. Yeah. I'm just going to keep you guys up to date with this overall position. Right now, again, natural gas is showing signs of an uptrend, but as soon as the market opened, it hit its peak already, and we might be catching it as it's trending down. Just please keep a very close eye on how it trades, and if it continues to make lower lows and lower highs, just keep the understanding or the idea in mind that it did hit its peak. And how did it react last time that it did that? Did it continuously sell off or slowly pull back? And maybe we might want to cut our losses quick so we can at least take some part of the recovery for DGAS to balance out maybe our trade for the day if you see value in it. So but then I just don't see a lot of potential for DGAS to continue to uptrend, especially because of the day that it had yesterday. I feel like that acted as a positive catalyst for it, but I could see still UGAS push up a little bit higher. So we'll just have to wait out and see. And as soon as I say that, DGAS pushes up. So we'll just have to give it a little bit more time. We're again approaching this general area right around $62 and kind of see how the day plays out. But let's be smart, please. One of the biggest factors that I want to make sure that we focus on today is for each and every single one of you to set your max dollar loss. your max dollar loss, your max percentage loss, if that's right now or if that's coming up soon or it's not even soon. But I just please, like, that's one of the biggest factors. That's the only way that you're going to be able to like grow your account, is if you can control how much money you give back. If you're averaging like $100 a day, does it make sense to manage your risk at $100 or $150? No, because then you just give back a whole day's worth of profit. If you average $500, then maybe you can risk, $200 or whatever it is that you feel comfortable trading that's within your means. So just please take that into consideration and have that plan in mind. That's one of the most important parts, and one of the most difficult parts when it comes down to trading is refining that aspect of actually managing your risk. So I wish you guys a beautiful rest of your guys' Wednesday. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. We will see you tomorrow for our natural gas report. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.